Trump's second month in office is already behind us, and if you ask me to sum it up in a couple of words, I'd rather not. But that's why I've got a soulless computer to do it for me, without bias, without emotion, and based only on facts. Today I'm going to ask ChatGPT to break down Trump's second month as president, what he did, his best and worst moves, and at the end, AI is going to give it a score from 0 to 10. And by the way, we already did this for his first month, so if you want to see how that one went down, well, go check it out after this. And as always, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel, whether it's right now or anytime while you're watching, because it seriously helps me out and lets me keep these AI conversations going each and every week. Oh, and jump down in the comments and drop the score that you would give Trump's second month before we get to the end. But let's all agree, 0 is as low as it goes. There's no negative 100 or negative 1000 or anything like that. All right, thanks so much, and now let's get straight into it. And here we go. First, I need to have it gather up all the latest information so it's fully up to speed on what's going on, and then I'll get to the point. Alright, so ChatGPT needs to be clear, straightforward, unbiased, no left or right leaning takes, no sugarcoating, no extra words, just get straight to the point. First, I needed to break down everything Donald Trump did between February 20th and March 20th, but with its own takes along the way. So, let's see how it views Trump's second month, and here it is. Trump's second month in office has been about raw power. No negotiations, no compromise, just forcing his agenda through at full speed. Everything he's doing is about control, whether it's over the government, the economy, or global politics. His immigration policy is full-on enforcement, with crackdowns designed to look like a Hollywood crime drama. Cameras rolling, police lights flashing, big statements about restoring order. ICE raids are broadcast like action sequences, migrants lined up for the cameras, and every arrest is turned into a political message. But ironically, deportation numbers are actually lower than under Biden. All the talk about mass deportations, yet the numbers don't match the hype. That might change once his system fully ramps up, but for now, his immigration crackdown is more about making noise than getting results. His trade policy is reckless and destructive. He slapped a 50% tariff on Canadian steel and aluminum, triggering immediate retaliation. Canada hit back, Trump doubled down, and now businesses on both sides of the border are absorbing the damage. He also imposed new tariffs on the EU, which unsurprisingly responded with its own tariffs on US exports. These aren't tough negotiations, they're trade wars for the sake of proving dominance. Allies aren't bending to his demands, they're preparing for a long fight. Instead of securing better trade deals, he's burning bridges, and American businesses will pay the price. His handling of Ukraine is pure ego. He brought Zelensky in, put him through a staged humiliation, and made it clear the US is stepping back. This wasn't diplomacy, it was a flex. Trump wants to be the guy who ends the war, but he's doing it by putting Ukraine in a weaker position. His recent call with Putin only added to that. After 2 hours of discussion, Putin dismissed the idea of a ceasefire outright, offered nothing of substance, and still walked away with the upper hand. Meanwhile, NATO is scrambling to adjust, because no one knows if the US will still be a reliable ally in a year. This isn't foreign policy, it's Trump treating war like a real estate deal, where he gets to decide who walks away with what. In the Middle East, he's escalating without a plan. He ordered airstrikes in Yemen in response to Houthi attacks on shipping routes and made it clear Iran is next if they step out of line. But this isn't a deterrent strategy, it's muscle flexing with no clear exit. The region isn't just going to fall in line because he demands it. With tensions already high, Trump's aggressive stance, his blank check support for Israel, and his escalation with Iran have only added fuel to the fire, worsening the fallout of the Israel-Hamas ceasefire collapse and pushing the conflict into even more dangerous territory. Instead of stepping in to stabilize the situation, he's making it worse. With multiple fronts heating up at the same time, Trump's strategy looks less like strength and more like recklessness. The more pressure he applies without a long-term plan, the more likely the US gets pulled into a larger conflict. Domestically, the biggest development in the last month has been his administration's shift in civil rights enforcement. On February 14th, the Department of Education reinterpreted Title IV of the Civil Rights Act, opening the door for claims of anti-white discrimination. This move effectively reshapes how federal agencies handle race-related policies, shifting the focus away from addressing systemic racism and toward protecting conservative grievances. It's not a new law, it's a bureaucratic maneuver designed to change the legal landscape without needing congressional approval. At the same time, he's tightening his grip on U.S. government-funded media, removing independent leadership from Voice of America, Radio Free Europe and Radio Free Liberty, and Radio Free Asia, and pushing for more control over their messaging, turning historically independent broadcasters into propaganda tools for his administration. The economy is starting to feel the impact of his chaos, the stock market is reacting badly, businesses are hesitating, and unemployment is starting to tick up as government job cuts take hold. He keeps teasing a tax cut, but nothing has materialized. The markets don't like instability, and instability is the only thing he's delivering. Trump's second month has been about one thing: control. Everything he does is designed to force obedience, whether it's from agencies, trade partners, or even other world leaders. He's not leading, he's demanding. And if this is just the beginning, it's only going to get more extreme from here. Sounds like a horror movie. Let me know in the comments how you would describe the past month. But now I want to ask, what was the best thing that Donald Trump did last month? And if you've got any ideas, feel free to share them in the comments below. Alright, here's what ChatGPT has to say. The best thing Trump has done this month? Forcing Europe to stand on its own. For too long, the EU has relied on the US for defense, economic stability, and leadership. Trump's reckless foreign policy undermining NATO, humiliating Ukraine, and starting trade wars is forcing Europe to wake up. They're now discussing stronger defense spending, building independent alliances, and reducing reliance on US markets. Trump likely isn't doing this on purpose. His goal is dominance, not global balance. But if his actions push Europe to finally step out of America's shadow and become a real global power, that's a win. So while I wouldn't say he's done anything good in a traditional sense, if this forces Europe to be stronger and more independent, it's a positive outcome. Well, alright, forcing Europe to stand on its own. Okay, got it. Now let's do the same for the worst thing that he's done. And since we're already on the topic of negatives, I'm gonna ask it to be even less polite this time and not hold back, so let's see what it has to say. The worst thing Trump has done this month? His treatment of Putin. Weak, differential, and completely outplayed. Everything about Trump's approach to Putin over the last month has been a disaster. He's undermined Ukraine, given Putin diplomatic victories, and failed to get a single meaningful concession. His 2-hour call with Putin was supposed to be about securing a 30-day ceasefire, a real test of whether Trump could actually apply pressure. Putin refused. He offered nothing but vague talk about limiting attacks on energy infrastructure. Then, just hours after the call, Russia launched missiles and drones, striking hospitals and energy facilities. And Trump unbelievably called it very good and productive. That's not negotiation, that's getting played and pretending it's a win. Trump's submission to Putin isn't just about US-Russia relations, it's about how the world sees America. He's making the US look easy to manipulate, weak when dealing with authoritarian regimes, and no longer the strong, reliable leader it once was. Between his humiliation of Zelensky, his empty rhetoric about peace, and his complete failure to get anything out of Putin, Trump's handling of Russia this month has been nothing short of pathetic. Whatever leverage the US once had over Putin, Trump is throwing it away. Alright, well, according to AI, Trump's treatment of Putin is the worst thing he's done this month, and if I remember right, it was the worst thing in his first month too. And since we're already on the topic of Putin and Russia, here's an entire video where ChatGPT breaks down Trump's admiration for Putin, that wild theory about him being KGB agent Krasnov, and everything connected to it. So if you missed it, be sure to check it out later. Okay, now it's time for ChatGPT's score for Trump's second month in office. But first, here's a quick reminder. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now while you're here. And don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on any new videos that I publish each and every week. Thanks a lot, and now let's get to the big question. So, ChatGPT, based on all of Trump's actions this month, give me your honest and final score from 0 to 10 for his second month in office. And here's the answer. Trump's second month has been chaos for the sake of chaos, power for the sake of power, and noise for the sake of noise. There's no strategy, no consistency, no bigger picture, just raw force thrown in every direction at once. He's not leading, he's asserting dominance. This month has shown exactly what his presidency is about: spectacle over substance. He's not interested in solving problems, he's interested in breaking things and calling it strength. If he's forcing something through, it's not because he's thought about it, it's because he can. If he's picking a fight, it's not because it's necessary, it's because it plays well on camera. Everything is a performance, and the country is just stuck watching the show. And here's the real problem: he's getting away with it. The courts are slow, Congress is weak, and his base doesn't care if the country is worse off, as long as he looks strong. He's running the government like a wrecking ball, knowing full well that no one is going to stop him. This is what unchecked power looks like. It doesn't fix anything, it just takes. Final score, 1 out of 10. Not just a bad month, but a dangerous one. If this is the pace he's setting, the worst is still ahead. Okay, well, let me ask what some of you are probably already thinking. Was that really an unbiased score from ChatGPT? Let's see what it says about it, or maybe it'll even rethink its score. Let's find out. It was definitely harsh, but it was based on what actually happened. The problem is that Trump's leadership this month hasn't been about governance, it's been about control and chaos. If he had major policy wins or smart strategic moves, I would have acknowledged them, but there weren't any. If I were to make it more balanced, I could say that his ability to push Europe toward independence is a positive side effect of his foreign policy, but even that wasn't intentional on his part. If anything, weakening ties with a key ally just ends up weakening the US too. So, was it unbiased in the sense of looking at just the facts? Yes. Was it neutral? No. Because calling things as they are shouldn't mean pretending bad leadership is just a difference of opinion. I couldn't have said it any better. ChatGPT gave Donald Trump's second month a 1 out of 10, but what do you think? Do you agree with this breakdown? Let me know all your thoughts down below, and don't forget to leave a like and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and hit the links in the description if you want to support the channel directly. After that, click on this video where ChatGPT breaks down Trump's first month in office and gives it a score just like we did today. Thanks for watching, click on this video, and I'll be waiting for you there.